male lead reveals that the person who killed the border second prince and the shaman was actually the border king, but it's not actually the border king. You know that monk, the monk that's supposed to be serving underneath the second prince? Yes, he is the actual killer. He is pretending to be the border king. He had already killed the border king. He killed the shaman, pretended to be the shaman to get close to the border king, killed the border king, and took the role as the border king. That's why the behavior the border king had to his concubine, the border concubine, was so indifferent. Why he treated her so differently, and why his opinions about the relationship between their countries, instead of having an alliance, was completely different. Yes, that is why. Like, the male lead figures this all out on his own, gets alone with this guy, and even poisons the guy. Like, he poisons himself in this dude with the poison the main character gave him in book 1. I am not kidding. This is how much of a mastermind the male lead is. They're given like 24 hours to solve this case. Like, the male lead tells the fake border king he needs 24 hours to solve the case. This is before he reveals the true identity of the border king and his crimes. He's like, I need 24 hours to solve this. I'll stay back as a hostage while I send the main character out to collect the evidence and information I need to prove who the real killer is. And, the fake border king, he agrees to this because he knows they won't be able to solve it. He hopes they don't solve it. And, the main character's pleased with this because, if he doesn't collect any evidence or instigate this at all, the male lead will die. He will die. And I'm like, dude, if you guys don't solve this, the alliance you came for will not happen. Think about this, dude. Think about it. You're not just letting the male lead die. You're gonna let this whole thing you guys went to do die. But yeah, he realizes, because he's bragging both to the border concubine and to the male lead's female assistant that no, he's not going to solve this, until he realizes without the male lead, he has no one to jab with or tease who won't tease and jab him back the way he wants. He will lose that. So he's like, you know what? I can't let him die. I need him. And I'm like, oh, he's probably realizing his feelings at this. So he returned back to the capital. They go to a banquet. The main character went on his own. He didn't think the male lead would go because male lead never really goes to banquets. This banquet is for the former empress's, now just princess's daughter, who was the former emperor's daughter too. So the granddaughter of the emperor. So, the emperor's granddaughter's birthday banquet. And he's there to celebrate the banquet. He's also there to inform the second prince of his ties with the monk and inform him, hey, this monk is a criminal. And the second prince is like, yeah, I broke ties with him after my parents informed me of his actions. So I will not have any connections with him anymore. And you think this is good until the male lead gets there. He makes a jab at the former empress, the now princess, for a sword she found. And you think that is it, but no, he reveals that one of her servants, who is now one of her lovers, had tried to murder everyone at the banquet. Yeah, tried to explode everyone, bomb everybody at this banquet for her own daughter. Everyone would have died at this banquet. And he outright tells everyone about her relationship with this servant and has this servant captured. She's already not good ties with the male lead. We learn later for reasons, but they don't have a good relationship. He doesn't have a good relationship with her daughter, who's the granddaughter of the emperor and was the daughter of the former emperor. They don't have a good relationship. We see that the second prince is worships the male lead, or at least looks up to the male lead, even invited the male lead to a banquet he's having. But he makes a scene, full on makes a scene. And the main character's just at the sidelines turning peels of a margarine into a little fox because he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it. Now the main character, he points out the suspicious relationship the male lead has with the former empress and her daughter. who they're both now just princesses or duchess. And the second prince, he points that out, even questions that if the Melide was the empress's, lover, or he's the second prince's lover, or, the second prince holds a candle for him, and why does the former empress, now just princess, hates him. And finally, the Melody does inform him what kind of relationship he has with them. So he's kind of the reason why the emperor and empress is on the throne. So back during Thousand Autumns, even though I'm pretty sure we're not introduced to him in Thousand Autumns, I don't remember being introduced to him in A Thousand Autumns. He was one of the people who was an ally to the emperor and empress when they were trying to get onto the throne. He was one of their allies. He was one of their strategists. He was helping them get onto the throne and helping them save their two sons and save their daughter. Yeah, he was involved in all of those events. That's why he's kind of looked up by the emperor and empress, why they listen to him, but why they owe him a debt, why the second prince is just admired with him, and why the former empress / now princess and her daughter has very hatred for him. Like, they can't take their hatred out on their father and mother and grandmother and grandfather, but they can take their hatred of losing their position as former empress and princess onto the Melide. So the monk who had ties with the second prince, who I at first assumed was doing everything he was doing underneath the orders of the second prince, but now I do not think they're working together anymore or had worked together. He wasn't actually following the orders of the second prince, only got close to the second prince to use him. But what I can tell from what I know, he's a member of the 13 floors. He's one of the higher members, but he's not number one. Whoever is number one is the person who he has the most ties with and connections with. And the person he's doing everything for, why he joined the 13 floors, was for his princess, not the former empress turned princess, not her, but I'm pretty sure the princess he's serving for or he's doing everything for, probably not for her wishes, probably doing it against her wishes, was she's either the former emperor's daughter or sister. I'm pretty sure sister or cousin. Like, I'm not sure who she is, because I even went back to check the names in the back, and her name doesn't appear, or I repeatedly missed it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she was the former emperor's sister or cousin, and she was married off to another family, but after the former emperor was kicked off the throne, and now the new emperor and empress is on the throne, she getting married off looked at all her alliance. I'm a little confused by that part. It makes no sense. I'm a little confused. Someone can you explain to me who she is and blah blah blah, because I don't get it. I don't remember her at all.